Hey guys, this is Dan with Gears and Gadgets. Thanks for tuning in. So I wanted to give you guys a quick update video on my Crown Vic. If you've been following along with this adventure of mine, I bought this 2008 Crown Vic from an auction up in Sacramento, direct from Sacramento County, and it was wrecked, and I went through the rebuild process. I will link the series up above. You can watch those videos. It's been a good time. So I've had this vehicle now for a couple weeks, and it's on the road, past the inspection. It's all rebuilt, and a lot really has transpired since I started driving it. Minor stuff, but enough that I thought it was worth doing a quick little update video and kind of catching you guys up to speed. So one of the first things that happened that was really actually pretty serious, kind of laugh about it now, but I drove this car for a whole week, and I got to Friday, turned the car over. It was about 6:30 in the morning. It was dark out, and I just happened to notice behind me no brake lights. I had the parking lights and the blinkers working just fine, but no brake lights, no third brake light. So I was pretty confused by that and thought time to probably diagnose this no brakes problem, or no brake lights, brakes work fine. And long story short, checked all the fuses, they were fine. It kind of actually scared me because I thought, maybe there was something more in-depth electrical going wrong, and I hate electrical, hate it. So I started poking my nose around, got down to the brake switch, figuring I'll check that first. Noticed two wires just dangling down there, and right away I realized what happened was these Crown Vics, the police cars, have a kill switch, a button that allows police to deactivate their brake lights. Reason for that is if they're rolling up to some sort of scene and they need to remain anonymous or indiscreet, they just hit a button and kill the brake lights. So when they decommissioned this car, they clearly just cut those wires, and when I ran through and checked all the lights, I thought I checked the brakes. Clearly I didn't. So just missed it. And it also went through state inspection and never got caught somehow. So I was at AutoZone. I just got a quick splice, put it together, brake lights work fine. So that was fun. I also shampooed out this entire car. Now I went out and bought a Rug Doctor portable spot cleaner. I was gonna pay to have the car professionally cleaned. It was like $150, but I also had to do my wife's car because her car is a lease. It's about to be done and turned over, so I got to clean that out too. So I figured I'll just buy the carpet shampoo or do it myself. So I got this Rug Doctor portable shampooer. Worked super good. I mean, I was really impressed with it. I didn't do a video of it because, well, to be honest with you, I was being lazy and so much stuff going on that I was just kind of taking a break from filming, but still couldn't really take a break of all the things I had to do. So I just went ahead and cleaned everything out, and it did a really good job. So one of the comments that I got on my channel, which I actually deleted because I felt like it was sort of like, I don't know, kind of like weird racial undertones to it, so I just wasn't comfortable with it, so I deleted it. But somebody was making comment about the dirty headrests, and I decided to, solve that problem. I mean, I was going to solve it to begin with, but somebody was poking shots at me for that. So as you can see here, headrests now, really clean. I actually took some simple green to it and scrubbed it with a brush and then hit it with the shampooer. That was the only section that I had to really do that with, was the headrest. Everything else came really clean just with the shampooer itself. So really impressed. I did this car, and I also did my wife's GMC Terrain, and really, really big fan of that shampooer. I'll link it in the description down below if you're in the market or interested in a shampooer. Not really the purpose of this video, but again, really good shampooer, so feel free to check it out. If you want a full review of this thing, there is a guy, ibaisaic, does like a 22-minute review of it. I'll just post his video in the description down below if you want to check that out. So one of the other things I've run into is the ABS light is coming on in this car, which is apparently pretty common. The ABS module up in the engine bay goes bad. I believe mine is bad, which, looking through the maintenance records, nobody ever complained of it with this car. So I almost feel like maybe the ABS module was bad on another car, and the sheriff's department said, hey, go grab one off of one of the wrecked cars. That's my guess, just because nobody complained about it before. But so I got to run to a junkyard. It's like a $40 part. Grab that ABS module, swap that out. But in the process, I did get a OBD2 faux seal scanner for this car. It was like a cheap little $30 thing off Amazon. I'll link that down below too. Not really a huge review kind of thing to do with that. But I also found they're searching through the websites and stuff like that, that these computers in these cars have a lot of things you can reactivate and change. I believe 2008 and up. This is a 2008. So I started looking into it, and that OBD2 scanner that I had happened to be the tool that I needed. And if you download a program called ForScan, you can actually get right into the program of the computer on this car and start to modify some of the settings. And one thing I was able to do was activate the dome light in the car. One of the things cops don't want is if they pull up to a scene in the middle of the night, they don't want to open the door and have it light them up and basically become a target. So they are deactivated from the factory. But if you go into ForScan, you can basically just go in there and just enable it. So I enabled the dome light. That's working. That's awesome. I also enabled automatic locking on the car. So when you pull away, it locks the doors for you all around, which is actually a nice thing to do. If you have that in your car, I recommend it. It's kind of like a safe carjacking defense. If your car automatically can lock all the doors, well, if you're at a red light, somebody can't just walk up and open the door and carjack you. So kind of a nice safety feature. And then when you stop the car and get out, you can just pull the handle and it unlocks the door. So I personally like that feature, so I have that enabled. And one of the best features, and this was not so easy, it's still easy, but not as easy as the other ones, was I found out through opening this door like a dummy from the outside in, because I had a handful of stuff, and this car doesn't or didn't have keyless entry. So the windows were down. I just grabbed the handle and kind of pulled up on it like an idiot, and it delatched the door mechanism inside the door. So I had to pull the door panel off. I did verify in the process the bulletproof panels are still in these doors. That's pretty sweet. Not that it matters, but kind of a cool little thing to have, I guess. So the bulletproof panels are there. And then I got into looking at the door module, and I started researching that online. Come to find out, you can basically, as long as your car has the wiring for it, which most of these cars, I guess, just had it from the factory and didn't have it activated, you can activate keyless entry. And man, I'll tell you what, I have had keyless entry in cars for, I don't know, 16 years, 15 years, something like that. And I never realized how much I loved it. I mean, I kind of forgot about how simple that is, but man, I'll tell you, it's great to have. So for $10, I bought the key fobs off of Amazon, and super, I'll link that in the description down below too, just basic Ford key fobs. Reprogrammed that computer, flashed it, and sure enough, went through the programming sequence, and I was able to get keyless entry working. That's awesome. So I'm very happy about that. That brings me to the trunk release. These police interceptors have a trunk release underneath the radio. That's so that cops can quickly pop the trunk and get to something if they need it, shotguns or whatever emergency equipment. And the problem with this car was when I got it. What
are those things? Were those the other cars?
The trunk pops whether the car's on or not. And the problem with that is if you're parked and the windows are down, somebody can pop the trunk and just take everything out of your trunk. Kind of eliminates being able to lock anything up and keep stuff secure. So I took to the internet on that and found out stupid easy fix. Again, I think this is 2008 and newer. If you just pop this trim panel off, which you can do with no tools at all, there are two harnesses behind the dash there. One of them works with the ignition and the other one works all the time, is hot all the time. So I swapped those two, and now the trunk release button only works when the car is on. It does not work when it's off. That was just all these little tiny tweaks make this car usability, little things like that just go a really long way. So the annoyances of having a cop car really kind of negated, in my opinion. Now, one of the other things is I did not have a cup holder in this car when I bought it, and I kind of didn't know that from the auction photos, but when I picked it up, I'm like, yeah, whatever, I'll grab one from the dealership. What, $40 for a cup holder? What could it possibly be? $240 Ford wants for a cup holder for this car. There is no way I'm spending $240 on a cup holder. I considered it because the very first day that I was driving this car, I did spill my coffee all over my lap, which was like, all right, maybe $240 is worth it. But I ran to the junkyard, and I was a little bit worried because these tan interiors on these Crown Vics is not common, at least not for the police interceptors. Most of them are black. So I got to the junkyard. Sure enough, all the cars, black interiors. I'm like, yes. Really stinks. You can kind of like see them all lined up down the row, all black. So I just kind of started poking my head around on the inside, and one of the black interior Crown Vics had my tan cup holder in it. It was absolutely disgusting. I mean, like, I don't know how anybody can get their car that dirty. It was caked in all kinds of nonsense, and I was like carrying it with just like a pinch of my fingers, but cleaned it up real nice, and now I have a cup holder for $4. So, and then another thing I had to do, which was a little bit annoying, but after I reprogrammed the key fob for the doors to work, it jacked up my tire pressure monitoring system for some reason. So I ordered the reprogrammer. Again, I'll link that down at another cheap Amazon pickup. I picked that up, and by the time I actually got it, the TPMS light was off, but I just went around and relearned all the tires anyways, assuming maybe it'll turn back on, just whatever. I bought the thing, I might as well use it. It was like $25. I'll throw it in the glove box if I ever need it again. I have it, but a nice little tool to have, I guess, for that. So with all that being said, that's kind of been all the little things that added up to a whole lot of, I guess, increases of cabin comfort for buying an old cop car. Really cool stuff. I just thought it was pretty neat to be able to just basically change a lot of the settings in the onboard computer, not really spend a whole lot of money. And the other thing too, it's really cool with these OBD2 scanners. I think most of these apps are compatible with them. I'm not sure how it works, but I've downloaded a couple just to play with them. Just go into the car scanner here. You see, you just connect this up, and you get like so much information out of this thing. I mean, I knew that, I guess I'd say, but to be able to be presented with the amount of information you get out of a car that has really no, I mean, there's no driver information system at all. You get speed, RPM, gas, temperature, just all like kind of idiot gauges, which, you know, doesn't give you any numbers or anything like that. So super basic, but with these OBD2 scanners, you get a lot more information. Instant fuel economy, fuel rates, your speed, engine RPM in actual numbers, you know, temperatures in numbers, coolant temperatures in numbers. This gauge is weird on here, but it's nice to have all that information really at your fingertips, and you can even get into the oxygen sensors and temperatures, and there's all kinds of stuff in here. I suppose while I'm in here, I will also show you the OBD Fusion app, which is another option people use with these, but similar idea. You can go into the dashboard, you get all of these numbers, and you know, just good information to have. Boost. I certainly don't have any boost PSI coming into this motor right now, but just valuable information to have. The one thing I noticed is this OBD Fusion app is not as snappy as the car scanner app, but you know, what are you going to do? So guys, that's my video for today. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on this Crown Vic and kind of where I'm at with this project. I will be getting back on the bike here in the near future. I actually was going to ride today, but kind of scrambling last minute, and you know, I got to put some air on the tires and stuff like that. So I haven't been on the bike in a few days, so I'm going to start riding more frequently now that I've gotten this Crown Vic bug out of my way. Starting to search for paint jobs now. That's coming up in the near future, but there's kind of a lot of other things coming up also that you know, might push that paint job a little bit. So guys, if this is your first time tuning in, please click that subscribe button down below. Remember, likes go a long way to help support the channel. See you guys next time. Take care.